welcome to Agriculture Ethics News. I'm your host, Stephen Jerome. Tonight we'll have an in-depth discussion about the recent USDA job layoffs that occurred just after the election. With the shift in political landscape, the USDA's decision to lay off hundreds of workers has raised serious ethical concerns. We'll be diving into who is affected, what's at stake, and the ethical dilemmas surrounding these actions.
That's right. The USDA is a critical institution in our country, impacting everything from food safety to rural development. But the timing of these layoffs have many people questioning the motivations behind the decisions and whether it's really the best interest of our country's food system.
And not just that, we need to look at how these layoffs could affect farmers, researchers, and even consumers. There's a lot more play here than just job cuts, and it raises significant questions about ethics and policy making.
Let's begin by setting the stage. After the recent election, the USDA announced a significant reduction in workforce, citing budgetary pressures and the need for restructuring. These layoffs have drawn sharp criticisms from many sectors of the society. We'll now explore who's impacted by these cuts.
As we look at these issues, we see several groups that are directly impacted with these layoffs. First, we have USDA employees, many of whom were in roles related to food safety, rural development, and agriculture research. These are individuals who specialize knowledge and they play a key role in ensuring our food system is safe and sustainable.
That's a critical point. When workers are laid off, there's not just a number on a report. These are people who bring expertise that ensures the quality of food we consume and the livelihoods of farmers across the country. Losing this knowledge base could be a serious blow to the agricultural policy of food and food security.
So we have the USDA employees themselves, but there are other key stakeholders in play. Let's talk about the farmers and rural communities. The USDA is crucial for providing subsidy loans and supporting programs that help keep small, medium-sized farms afloat. If these departments are understaffed or if services are disrupted, it could have a devastating impact on their operations.
Right. Farmers are already facing significant challenges due to climate change, labor shortages, and market volatility. The USDA provides essential programs that help mitigate these risks. With these layoffs, there's a real concern that support services for farmers will be delayed or reduced, making it harder for them to stay in business.
Exactly, and let's not forget the environmental implications. The USDA has been a driving force in supporting sustainable farming practices and agriculture research. Without adequate staffing, how can they continue to provide research on climate-smart farming or help implement policies that protect our natural resources?
Now that we've outlined these stakeholders, we need to dive into the ethical issues at hand. One of the main concerns of these layoffs is transparency. The timing, just after the election, raises questions about whether these layoffs were politically motivated.
Exactly. Ethical decision-making requires transparency, especially when it affects so many people. These layoffs are being used as a tool for a political gain. We have to ask, is this decision in the best interest of the public, or is it driven by partisan interest?
And the issue of accountability cannot be ignored. When a government agency like the USDA makes such a drastic decision, who is accountable? Are the decision makers answering to the needs of the public, or is this a case of decision being made behind closed doors without little public input?
Another ethical issue here is fairness. Were these layoffs done equitably, or did certain sectors of the USDA, perhaps those in politically sensitive roles, bear the brunt of the cuts? Ethical layoffs should be done with fairness in mind, not just in terms of which jobs are cut, but also considering the long-term impact on public services.
We've talked about farmers and employees, but what about the consumers? The USDA plays a huge role in ensuring the safety and the food supply through inspections and monitoring. With fewer staff, how will the USDA maintain its food safety standards?
That's an important point. Consumers rely on the oversight to ensure their food is safe. If those inspections are delayed or reduced, it could lead to dangerous consequences from foodborne illnesses and potential recalls. The ethical responsibility to protect the public's health is paramount.
And what about the long-term future of agriculture? These layoffs don't just impact the USDA, they could ultimately affect our entire food system. Agriculture is one of the largest sectors of the economy, and any disruption in the USDA's ability to regulate research or support farmers could have far-reaching consequences.
As we conclude, the ethical implications of these USDA job layoffs are clear. We must prioritize fairness, transparency, and accountability in government decisions, especially when those decisions affect so many lives and our nation's food security. But we must also consider the long-term impacts of rural communities, farmers, and consumers.
That's right. The health of our agricultural systems depends on the continued support of government programs that serve both farmers and the public. Reducing that support can have unintended consequences that will ripple through every level of the food system.
And as we've seen, the ethical choices made today will shape the future of agriculture in America. It's crucial that we continue to ask the hard questions and hold decision makers accountable for their actions.
Ethical leadership in agriculture and policy isn't just about making decisions. It's about making the right decisions, with an eye on both the immediate and long-term impacts. This is about what's doing best for the greater good.
Well, that wraps up today's coverage on the USDA job layoffs. Thank you for tuning in. We'll continue to keep a close eye on this developing story and provide further analysis on ethical challenges as it presents. Stay informed, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching KYTI Kitty News. Until next time, stay engaged, stay ethical.